Good morning and welcome back. My name is Dee Dee if you're new here, and we are just starting our journey on this piece of property. We are remodeling this 1981 manufactured home to the point that it is livable. There's a deer stalking me in the background. Anyway, so we'll be having a house built on the property here that better fits our needs. But in the meantime, we've got a lot of cleanup to do and just lots of projects. So what I'm working on today is, unfortunately, we inherited a whole bunch of old paint and stain and sealers that are just really old and need to be disposed of. There's an event in our town this weekend where we can take those in, but I have to register for it and I have to give the number of each product that I'm bringing in and how much. So I need to go make a list of everything that is out here in the garage so that we can get those loaded up and hopefully taken in tomorrow. I'm not sure when the next event is, so I really want to make sure and not miss this one. As you can see, we've been working on getting the garage cleaned up and organized. We do have a bunch of overflow stuff here in the driveway that needs cleaned up. Part of the problem is we have a small garden shed that all of the garden tools and stuff are going to be going into. We cannot load it up, however, because it needs to be moved. So once we get that moved, a lot of that stuff will go into the garden shed, but in the meantime, it's just hanging out in the driveway looking bad. But anyway, the problem that we are dealing with today is all of these cans right here of paint and stain. So I need to get cataloged what is there so that I know exactly what I'm taking in tomorrow. So I know this collection site will accept the latex paint and the stain. I'm not sure about the water seal product or the roof cement, but I'm gonna go onto the website here in a minute so that I can register and put in my product, and hopefully we can get rid of those there, because otherwise I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do with them. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get that done because like I said, that event is tomorrow, and I wanna make sure that I get registered for it so I can get all this stuff taken in. Right now it's all just sitting in the middle of the garage, taking up space. It's not something that we're going to be using in the future, so we're just gonna go ahead and see if we can get it recycled. I am in this very bright room. This room we have sprayed with Kills. Robert did that, and then we sprayed with one coat of a latex paint. We're gonna come back in and roller this just because we want a really good thick coat in here. We're also gonna be painting the floor with a garage floor epoxy. The reason being that we don't wanna it would probably cost around $5,000 just to put a cheap flooring in here, and that's not money we wanna spend on this structure. We wanna save that money for our house that we're building. So anyway, I'm gonna get started because we do have a few runs from spring. We're not professional painters by any means, we just do the best we can. So Robert did a really great job spraying in here. There's just a few runs that I'm gonna knock down with some the sanding block, and then I'll come through and start rolling this room. It took me about 2 seconds with a sanding block to realize that's going to take forever to smooth down these runs. I think what I'm going to use is actually just a putty knife and kind of peel off those runs really quickly. Because I'm going to be coming over this with a roller and we're going to get a nice thick coat on here, I'm not super worried about it. So we're going to do the best that we can while trying to definitely make some progress, because we're currently living in our travel trailer, back and forth between the travel trailer and the house, and we're very eager to just be able to move in here. We can do that as soon as we get this room finished. Okay, so I think that actually worked pretty well. You can kind of see right there where the marks are where I've pulled off the runs. There's a few places around the room. I think those will cover really well. And actually what I decided to do was get like a really thick nappy roller, because that'll put kind of a texture, like a pretend texture on the walls, which will kind of help cover any like blemishes or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the floors. Now, the floors, because this is a mobile home, it's a double wide, we have this big seam running down the middle of the room. I need to fill that with caulking. Because we're gonna be rolling the floors with garage epoxy, that's not gonna fill that completely, and I don't wanna have these big gaps where we'll have dirt and dust collect. So I'm gonna work on filling those with caulking. I think what I'll do is I'll get started doing that. That way that can dry, then I'll start rolling the walls, then we can come back in and roll the floors. I think that's the plan. It might change, but we're gonna go with that for now. Yay, so that's actually working better than I even thought it would. And this is gonna be a little bit labor intensive, but I think in the long run, I'm gonna be really glad that I did this. It's just really important to me to be able to keep the floors clean. And we do have cats that are in and out, so I'm gonna do all of these. You can see kind of behind me, you can see these lines. Those are all really big staples that they use to put the particle board subfloor down. So I'm actually gonna fill all of those too. I don't think it'll take very long. We have our electric caulking gun. That kind of helps the process because you can put out a lot of caulk really quickly. I've got a really big, what the heck is this thing called? Putting. I've got a really large putting knife, so I'm just gonna go through this as quick as possible. I tend to get bogged down when I'm doing detail work, but this does not need to be perfectly smooth or anything. So I'm gonna try and keep that in mind and just work as hard and as fast as I can to get this done so it can get started drying. Alrighty, so I have all of these holes in the floor and this giant seam that's all caulked and ready to go. I also filled a few of the cracks in the wall. This is obviously wall paneling, and so with it being paneling, there's big cracks where the two panels come together. I went ahead and filled a couple of those. I'm gonna wait and not fill all of them. I think because I'm gonna wait and see how it looks after I roller it. I don't wanna do unnecessary work. It might not necessarily need to be filled. So I just did a couple just to kind of see. And then I'm gonna take a quick break for lunch, and then when I come back, I'm gonna start rolling all of the walls in here. I'm really excited. We're making good progress on this room. My goal, today's Friday, so my goal is to get this completely done today. And then, oh my gosh, there's a giant daddy long leg. Anyway, my goal is to get this completely done today, as well as the master bathroom and the closet, so that we can move in to the bedroom tomorrow. We've been sleeping in our travel trailer, and thankfully the bed in there is pretty comfortable. However, it is not our normal bed, which we were excited to get back in after a few weeks. So I'm really gonna try to get this finished up today and hopefully get us to where we can move in tomorrow afternoon.
Don't wanna sleep tonight at all. Just wanna watch them stars fall. But you don't wanna try to make up dreams just to be seen. I wanna lay here beside you, oh quiet. Fire breath and open sky. It's not what we know, it's where we go. I grow wings, that's how we're good. It's not what we see, it's what we choose to be. Sunflowers, high grass, and bare feet. Oh, but you each second is a treat. I keep my balance next to you. It's true. Nowadays there's nothing I wouldn't do for you. Fire breath and open sky. It's not what we know, it's where we go. I grow wings and tell worry goodbye. It's not what we see, it's what we choose to be. We're beyond good. I've never been so ready. Fire breath and open sky. It's not what we know, it's where we go. I grow wings and tell worry goodbye. Oh, it's not what we see, it's what we choose to be. Fire breath and open sky. It's not what we know, it's where we go. I grow wings and tell worry goodbye. It's not what we see, it's what we choose to be.
So we rolled all the walls. Robert jumped in and helped me, thank goodness, because I'm getting really tired. I also went ahead and I cut in on the floor with the garage floor epoxy, and Robert is rolling that out now. So we are really, really close to being done.
There's a new day that will come again tomorrow. There's a new day to wash away the pain. There's a new day to take away your sorrow. And the old ways get washed out by the rain. Darling, you've got to keep holding on through the night, 'cause I promise you this: if you try to get some sleep, if you give up the fight, if only just for a bit, there's a new day to leave behind your troubles. There's a new day.
All right, we got the last coat of the garage floor epoxy on last night. Everything looks like it's dried well, so we're gonna go ahead and start moving on in and get stuff cleaned up. We got obviously a bunch of tear down, but Dee Dee's putting in some, Dee's putting some shirts in the other room. Get the dresser in, get the bed moved in, kind of start getting things settled in the new bedroom. So our little trailer home has been kind to us for the last month and a week or two. I don't know, it's been a little over a month that we've been staying in that. And while the bed is fairly nice in that and comfortable, we've been missing our bed. So it'll be nice to be out of this tonight and into our bedroom. Well, we went down to the old Wally World and got some curtains and curtain rods. I got those hung up. These will be nice. These are a blackout curtains, so they'll be super dark. You know, sometimes you want to sleep in.
'Cause I promise you this. If you try to get some sleep, if you give up the fight, if only just for a bit, there's a new